Hi all, welcome to yet another session of Problem Prevention. Myself Dr. Ankush G here with you. Today's topic, that is housing. Housing includes not only the physical structure but it provides a shelter too. The immediate surroundings and the related community services and facilities. It has become part of the concept of human settlement, which is defined as all places in which a group of people reside and pursue their life goals. The size of settlement may vary from single family to millions of people, that we know it. And further, moving on to what is housing, we know that it is related to a residential environment which is defined as the physical structure that man uses and the environs of the structure, including all necessary services, facilities, equipment and devices needed or desired for the physical and mental health and for the social well-being of the family as well as for the individual. So while moving upon to the community point of view, it is very essential to know what are the social goals of housing. First of all, we need a shelter so that the house provide a sanitary shelter, which is a basic need, and family life. Household provides adequate space for a family life and related activities. Further, when we think, we can see its access to the community facilities like health services, schools, shopping areas, etc. More importantly, family participation in community health and life. Communities are able to pool their efforts and improve the living conditions. And last point is the economic stability. Housing is a form of investment of personal savings. It provides economic stability and well-being of the family. So by knowing these things, how a house should be, what are the standards which are very much required for a house? So housing standards in India are recommended by the environmental health criteria, that is EHC, which was being implemented in the year 1947. And this include so many criteria. The first one is site selection. The construction is done on an elevated area so that the building is not subjected to flooding due to rain. Soil should be dry and safe. Site should be away from breeding places of mosquitoes and flies. And site should have a pleasing surrounding and not to be affected by excessive dust, smoke, bad odor, noise as well as traffic. The second point is very important, that is the foundation. A foundation must be solid and very substantial so that the foundation laid with a bed of cement concrete over the stones to cover the trench. The thickness of the foundation should be less than 25 inches. Next, moving on to the setback. It's a very important thing when we think about house. Opening the space all around the house is called as the setback, and it is done to provide natural lighting as well as ventilation. In rural areas, the built-up area should not exceed 1/3 of the total area. In urban areas, the built-up area should be exceeded or should not exceed beyond 2/3 of the total areas. Next, very important thing is the flooring. And we know that it should be impermeable so that it can be easily washed and kept clean as well as dry. Mud floors tend to break up and cause dust, so they are not recommended so often. The floor must be smooth, free from cracks and damp proof also. The height of the plinth should be about 2/3. Next criteria is the walls. Walls should be reasonably strong and they should have a very low heat capacity and be weather resistant. It should be smooth and damage proof. Ideal thickness is around 9 inches. The very important aspect of housing is roof. The height of the roof should be less than 10 feet and the roof should have a very low heat transmittance. When we move on to the rooms, it's very important that per person what is the capacity of room. One room we can maximum accommodate a number of 2 persons. For 2 rooms it is 3 and for 3 it is 5 persons. 4 rooms it is 7 persons. 5 rooms it is 10 persons. And for more than 5, 2 additional persons for each further room can be added upon to this. When we consider about room, it's very important to know about the floor area. And it is being told that for 2 persons we should have a square feet of about 110, and for 1.5 people here the half unit is child between 1 to 10 years and a baby under the age of 12 is not counted. So 90 to 100 square feet is for 1.5 person, 70 to 90 square feet is for 1 person, and 50 to 70 square feet is for a half person. And for less than 50 square feet floor area, no person are advised so oftenly. So these things comes as to know about the very important thing, that is windows. There should be an adequate of 2 windows for every living room with an opening to the external atmosphere, and windows should be placed at a height of about 3 feet above the floor. And window area should be around 20% of the total floor area. This is very important. So we know the lighting of the room is very important, and an exquisite video about lighting has been done previously. You can watch over that one also if you require. And lighting, we know that the daylight factor should not exceed 1% of the total floor area along with cubic space. That means an air space of about minimum 500 to 1000 cubic feet per capita is required for a good standard of housing. Very important one in our housing aspect is the kitchen area. Separate kitchen with adequate light, power, water supply, protected against dust and smoke, and it should be very sufficient. Storage area should be there, and a sink for washing dishes and with proper drainage system is a must for a standard proper housing. The next one, when we go to the rural areas, we know that in rural areas the approved standards may be lower than in towns, and it should be like that too. So there are certain minimum standards in rural areas that include at least 2 living rooms, and a built-up area should not exceed 1/3 of the total area. Sufficient balcony and gallery area should be there. Separate kitchen with a sink. Window area is less than 10 as that of floor area. Cattle shed should be at least 25 feet away from the human dwellings. That is noted that the sanitary well or the tube well within 250 meters should be there, and all the arrangement for proper disposal of refuse, garbage and wastewater should be there. For what purpose we are learning all these things? Because housing and health are related. Housing is a part of total environment of a man and is to some extent is responsible for the status of man's health and well-being. So that the poor housing may cause various health hazards such as respiratory infections, common cold, tuberculosis, influenza, diphtheria, bronchitis, measles, whooping cough, and skin infections or rat infestations like plague. Arthropods like houseflies, mosquito, fleas may breed all around, and some accidents can also be occur. There are some psychological effects also, like a sense of isolation may be felt by the persons living in an upper floor of high buildings is now well known to have harmful effects. Often also people living in densely populated urban areas feels a similar sense of isolation, which may lead to neurosis and behavioral disorders. There comes the most important thing about the housing, that is overcrowding. What is overcrowding? It refers to the situation in which more people are living within a single dwelling than there is a space for, so that the movement is very much restricted. In such a situation, privacy is secluded, hygiene is very less, proper rest and sleep is difficult to attain, and infectious disease spread rapidly under our conditions of overcrowding. And psychologically, overcrowding may lead to irritability, frustration, anxiety, mental stress, unhappiness, and psychosomatic as well as mental disorders too. So we must know that the high morbidity and mortality rates are observed when housing conditions are substandard. So the accepted standards which with respect to the overcrowding are: first one, person per room. One room 2 persons, 2 room 3 persons, and 3 rooms 5 persons, as I have told you earlier, along with a floor space. This is also very much important thing, and I have mentioned this thing above. You can see that one also. So regarding these housing, it is very important for us and for a community medicine student. It is very much needed to know about the standards of housing. Thank you for watching this video by ProMed Prevention. Thank you.